people of the world and the underworld. This is Insane Book Reviewer. Today I'm going to review Nevermore by Creagh. I hope you enjoy. The characters. So our two main characters are Varen Nethers, a goth boy, and our beautiful blonde cheerleader, Isabel Lamley. Now, Isabel and Varen are paired up to do a project on a dead American author. So, who do they choose? None other than my favorite author of all time, Edgar Allan Poe. Now, Nevermore's characters were a little bit too flat. I mean, they gave Isabel like a personality, you know, but I didn't really care whether she died or not in the end. And Varen, I didn't understand much about his life until the very end. So the characters were flat and I really didn't care for them. There's also Bess, who I'm pretty sure is one of the best characters in it. Bess is a poltergeist who's also called Lilith, which is really weird. Because if you're going to name a character Bess, you call her Bess throughout the entire story. You don't keep changing her names to Lady Legeia or Lilith or Lucy or whatever. You call her one name. It's either Lilith, Lady Legeia, or Bess. So I'm going to call her Bess. I think Bess was my favorite character. It was because she was evil, but she was a graceful type of evil, and I really enjoyed her character because at first she seems to be protecting Isabel, and I just can't see Bess being completely evil. I mean, she is a character in Varen's story, and I guess they're meant to be together, and I really would rather support that pairing than Isabel and Varen. The plot. The plot, as mentioned, is about the two kids who pair up to do a project on Edgar Allan Poe. So, the plot was very slow moving. It's a 543-page book, and it's an incredibly slow plot. It gives us too many details we don't need to know. The plot starts around page 200 when Isabel has a dream with a man named Reynolds, who is Edgar Allan Poe's friend, I guess. So she goes into like this dreamland, which is part of Varen's original story, if I'm correct, because that's what it says at the end. So Varen, you know, he's an author, so he makes this story, and it's dreamland, and it's based on Edgar Allan Poe. So Edgar Allan Poe's world is also in it, and all the characters are alive. It's not as cool as it sounds, trust me. Bess is Lady Legeia. There's the Raven, the Red Death, and Isabel is Varen's Lenore. His lost love, Lenore, from the poem The Raven. I didn't explain the plot well, but the plot is she gets stuck in this dream world with Varen, and Bess is trying to get Varen because she's meant to be with him. She's Lady Legeia, so she wants to pretty much like kill Isabel or Lenore and take him. And the plot is pretty original. The problem is it takes over 400 pages for us to find out what is happening. I mean, because sure, Bess's Lady Legeia's character remains a mystery until page like 500, but most people will quit. It's an interesting read. This book was an interesting read, and it's a semi-original story plot, and the characters I could really care less for, but the plot just made me keep on reading it because I wanted to know who the hell Bess was, and why Isabel's in this dreamland. I recommend it. I don't recommend you buy it. I recommend you get it from the library. It's not one of those books that's good enough to buy. But if you're an Edgar Allan Poe fan, I think it's an excellent read. I really have not seen anything like this. I mean, I was surprised when I read it. I thought it was going to be like about some emo angsty dude, but it turned out to be about Edgar Allan Poe. If you're not a fan of Edgar Allan Poe, you really will not understand the story. So I don't recommend you read it if you don't like Edgar Allan Poe or aren't a fan of him. But if you're a fan of Edgar Allan Poe, I recommend reading it. It is not the best read. So what is my grade for this book? I give it a C+. It's an okay story, a little over average, and it was an interesting read and entertaining. It's a very entertaining read, not to be taken very seriously, but I give it a C+. It would get a B- if it didn't have all those details, but over-exaggerating, everyone does that, it's okay. This book gets a C+. Thank you for watching, bye.